tricky, I would say, because you need to do it and bake it and eat it on the same time. You cannot do it in advance. You have to do everything at once, then bake it, eat it. So that's a little tricky. I mean, one part you can do it before. I will show you which part you can do it before, but you need to finish it and bake it and eat it right away. So that's why if you want to eat the soufflé right now, you need to do it on the same time. If you have the recipe, so we have the link for the recipe. If you want to follow the recipe, the recipes is like all like this. I'm gonna put it up. So we have the ingredients here. So all the ingredients are here. Thank you. On top, so this in grams. So usually I would do the grams and a scale like this. Okay, like this. Because we want to be precise as a pastry chef. Try to use a scale if possible. That would be much. It would be better actually to be very precise, because you see like this quantity are very small quantity, so it's not very easy. And sometimes the conversion on cup and tablespoon are not very accurate, but that will work still. And then we got the step on the bottom. So we got to do all the steps, pretty much the step we have. We got to exactly follow what's going on. So you see, we preheat the oven at 375. So I would say 375, 380. Depend on your oven. Every oven is very different. So I would say it should be between 370 to maybe 400. If your oven is getting old, they usually, get a little less on temperature. So you may want to go a little higher if your oven. So that's what happened with every oven. Me is 380. I think it does great. It's kind of nice oven, so I'm pretty happy with it. We're gonna get started. So what do we get? What do we need for soufflé? We need, of course, chocolate. Okay, a lot of chocolate for chocolate soufflé. Makes sense. We're going to need some milk. Here I got my milk. We're going to need some egg yolk, egg white. So egg white, I already have my 4 egg whites here, and I got 2 egg yolk in the fridge. And we're going to need a little sugar here. Without hair, it's good. So some sugar here, and that's it for the recipes. So what I need to do is to make sure the people if someone is baking at the same time, get all your ingredients ready on the same time. So take a little time right now to get your ingredients ready. Oh, I forget the cornstarch here.
Simon?
Yes.
Simon?
Me?
What type of chocolate do you recommend? Milk chocolate versus dark chocolate, and any particular brand?
So you can use both chocolate. You can use milk and dark. I would say do not use the white chocolate. But you can use milk and dark. It would be fine. What you want an unsweetened chocolate. Okay. Not sweetened because it's going to be too sweet and not strong enough. Not necessarily for the flavor, but the texture too. So this is what we call a couverture, chocolate couverture. It's like very unsweetened chocolate. This is like 60% cocoa, this one. So you can eat it, but it's not gonna be as sweet as the one you can buy on the at the shop. You did like this. You really want like 60% chocolate at least.
Oh, here he is. We have them.
Go more. That's fine. So everyone is ready with the ingredients, or need more time? I don't know. Talk to me. Talk to me.
We're good.
It's an apéro, you can talk. Huh? To make sure that if someone's doing it, I don't go too fast. That's the thing. Let me see. Who's doing what? I think, okay, I mean, let's go. So what we have to do, first we have the milk here. We're going to need the cornstarch. So I have the cornstarch here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my scale, because I use scale. So you see my scale, I just tie it, becomes 0, and I'm going to use my cornstarch. It's brand new. So, here's the first souffle class I'm doing here. So we need 15. Up. I'm going to add 15 grams. Okay, here we are. So we got the milk. So we're going to use whole milk. Okay, don't use anything else. I know it's more calorie, but you will need the whole milk. You cannot use the on fat or low fat. Make sure it's the whole milk. And what we're going to do, we're going to take it on the stove. I would say, like my guy can go up to 9, so I go 4. So don't go like a little lower and medium. If you go too fast, you got to burn everything. And we just got to mix everything. So I'm going to make some noise, but pretty much what we're going to do, we're going to mix all the time the milk and the cornstarch together, okay? You don't want to stop mixing it. If you stop mixing it, it's going to be burning. So keep mixing all the time. So we got to mix it a little bit, to make sure it don't burn, and we got to boil it. So right now I'm just going to wait for it to boil, mixing a little bit to make sure it don't burn. It should get thicker a little bit. You don't see anything. Let me go. This.
Oh my goodness. Astronaut, cosmonaut.
There we are. Well, it's going to take some time. It's going to take a few minutes to get here. Just go slowly. That's the most important. Go slow.
Why do you add the cornstarch?
The cornstarch is already in.
No. Why do you add it?
The cornstarch is to thicken everything. So the cornstarch is going to be sticking everything together. It's kind of what's holding the chocolate and the eggs together. I mean, everything is going together.
Unless you have a question, could you mute your sound so that we see Simon?
Listen to the chef. John, you're the chef. I'm surprised you don't bake it with me, John.
I know. I've got a whole bunch of stuff going because I'm having a small little dinner tonight. So I'm having poireaux with vinaigrette, and so those are ready. And then filet mignon with the béarnaise and chou gratiné and asperge, which will also get some béarnaise on the side. So I've been doing all of that just now. So I'm taking a break.
We are coming. We are coming, John.
No problem.
No sweet, John?
Well, I don't know. I think Paulette's going to do something here.
Ah.
Hang on.
Getting here.
The disadvantage of the electric stove, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like the electric, but that's what I have here, so. Right? I'm not really a huge fan of this thing, but. Okay, so now, like, you don't really see it, but it's getting a little thicker because when you cook the cornstarch in the milk, it will become like a little sauce. Like here you can see here, you see the is a little thicker here. It's kind of like a bechamel texture right now. It's getting very.
Yeah.
You don't see that it's not liquid anymore. So that's a little creamy here. So what we have to do, we have to keep mixing, and we want to see the bubbles. So we want to see it boiling. So we just got to wait a little bit to see the bubbles. So here we got some bubbles going on. I don't think you think. So here I can see here it's bubbling, so it's boiling. So I'm going to keep a lot strong with it. And then I will go a little lower, like 3 or 9. And then I'm going to cook it like for a minute, 1 minute like this, after boiling. So you see, you get your milk, you got the cornstarch, you have to boil it slowly. One is boiling, you have to lower a little bit and cook 1 more minute. And keep mixing all the time. Who's doing my timer?
So I'm sorry I came a little bit late. So we are doing what? I missed the first part.
Chocolate soufflé.
Chocolate soufflé. So what we did here, we had the milk and the cornstarch on the pan, and then we boil everything together, and we keep mixing all the time.
Okay.
After it's boiling, you got to keep mixing and cooking for 1 minute.
Thank you.
Just boil milk and cornstarch together, then you cook it for a minute, and that's it. It's almost here. But make sure it's a minute. Huh? It's not like, oh, it's okay, it's 1 minute. No, real minute. Because sometimes, like when I do classes at the kitchen and in this village, some people like, oh, you need to mix like 3 minutes, and after a minute, like, oh, are we done? No. Okay, so that's a minute. Okay, so we're good here. So we got to take it off the stove. Keep mixing a little bit because the bottom is still hot on the pan. So keep mixing a little bit to make sure you don't burn it. And I'm going to move you back, guys. Because I'm good here. Okay, there we go.
You think this would be better, Julia? More professional? This one?
Okay. So here you see we got milk and cornstarch here, and you see it's gonna be very creamy. So it's like really like a cream, very similar as a bechamel, I would say. You know bechamel.
Beautiful.
That's what you want to see. And it's just the milk and the cornstarch. So now we got this cooked. We got to right away use it to the chocolate, okay? Because what you want to have the hot milk and cornstarch melting the chocolate. So don't wait for it, just add it to the chocolate. You see, we got to cover a little bit first. We got to let it melt a little bit, gentle, because it's very hot. So we got to melt the chocolate like this. And now you see I'm going to, and just because the milk and cornstarch are super hot, it's going to melt the chocolate. Don't mix it too much. You just want to combine everything together. So if you want, you can use the spatula. Because this soufflé, the less you mix it, the less you work on it. After that, the better it is. So just very gentle mix to melt your chocolate with the milk and the cornstarch. And you see, now it's kind of like a big chocolate batter. What's next? Anyone who's doing it is on time with me? You follow me?
Simon, I have a question.
Yes.
Could you literally stop there and could that be mousse au chocolat?
No, at all. This is completely different. In mousse, in a mousse, you don't have cornstarch.
Ah, okay.
I mean, some recipe have milk, but usually it's heavy cream, so it's like this. If you eat this, it's gonna be like very like cornstarch taste chocolate.
Ah, okay. D'accord, merci.
Not really. I think someone's doing it, so I want to make sure I'm not going too fast. So everyone is good with the timing, or nobody doing it?
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good.
Okay, so next we got to add the egg yolk. Let me find myself. Where am I? Here we are. There we are. So we're going to add the 2 egg yolk. Okay. So the recipe said 2 egg yolk and 4 egg white. So that means you got to have some egg yolk left, and we're not going to use it during this recipe, but that's okay. So we're going to add the 2 egg yolk. Same thing. We're going to mix it slowly, just to incorporate the egg yolk to the chocolate batter. And that's all. So don't get crazy, just up. There we are. See, and everything on it here. So that's your chocolate. Okay.
Mm.
Very good. Okay. What's next? So what I was saying earlier, you cannot really do everything in advance for the souffle. Okay. This is what we call a souffle base. So pretty much you can do a lot of flavors for souffle. You know souffle. You can do like chocolate. You can be savory. You can do all kind of flavors. So most of the time you got millions of recipes for souffle, but most of the time you got to have a base like we did with the milk, the cornstarch, eggs, egg yolk. Then we got to add the flavor and control if you want. Yes, you can do that.
So important.
We know you, huh? We not surprised from John. and then this is the best. So this you could do it a little before. I would say maybe overnight is not the best, but do not do more than a night in the fridge. Okay? Because after it's become too hard and it's not gonna be easy to use. If you do it before and keep it in the fridge, make sure you go back room temperature. You don't want to use it cold, the base. So what we call the base is this. That's a chocolate base souffle. So you really want to use it fresh, not cold, this base. Because what we got to do after, we got to do some egg whites. So we got to whip some egg whites with some sugar. Okay, so a little egg white, a lot of egg white and a little sugar. We're going to whip it, and we got to add it to the chocolate base. Or it could be like a Cointreau base, could be a cheese base, whatever. Okay, and as soon as you add your egg white in the base, you need to have your ramekins ready. You need to have your oven ready because you need to bake it as soon as possible. Okay, and when you bake it, you eat it right away. So that's why the only thing you can do it a little before is this. So actually, I'm not ready. I need those guys ready. So you see, I'm going to use the souffle ramekin. Okay, any size you want. Okay, the bigger, the longer will be for baking. That's all. But after that, you can do a huge one. You can do small ones. I would say don't make it too small because after it's gonna be a little too baked. Okay, it's gonna burn a little too much on the side. What we need butter, melted butter. I mean, melted, I will say soft butter, very soft butter, not melted. The easy way is a microwave. But don't make it too long, okay? Because I kind of like it when it's like very soft and like very buttery, but not melted, like soft. And what you want you want a nice layer of butter everywhere. So on the bottom, on the side, let's see, be generous. Butter is good. Like I say, the more butter, the better.
Always.
If you want to do a croissant class, you will see. A question. How much butter do you think in one recipe of croissant? How much butter in one croissant? Percentage?
50? 50?
50? Okay. You say anything else? Anyone else can say something? What do you think?
70.
70?
What was the question?
How much butter in on the croissant? How much percentage of butter in one croissant?
2 tablespoons.
30%.
Oh, I don't know.
30%.
Yeah, I would say 2 tablespoons.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, I will say it's going to be around 40%.
40.
You have around 40% of butter in the croissant. That's why it's so good.
That's why they're so good.
Rich. No, we say good. Okay?
That's why it's so good.
Yeah. And that's why it's like if you have like a bad croissant, it's because they are cheap and they don't want to use too much butter. That's why they're not good. Okay, so butter everywhere. And what we're going to do also.
Are you from Brittany, Simon?
Sorry?
Vous êtes de Bretagne?
Nantes. De Nantes.
Oh, well, that's not far.
Ça dépend.
They like butter over there.
Yeah, I like butter, yes.
So do I.
Okay. So here we have the ramekin with the butter. What we're going to do, we got to take some sugar, and you see we got to cover the side, and we have to cover the bottom and the side with sugar. Okay? And take off the extra. You just want to stick the sugar on the butter. So what you want, you can do like a lot of sugar in, and then you just turn it around. And what's left, what's extra, you just put it back. Okay. So like this, you got to have a nice crispy layer on outside of the soufflé. You don't have to put the sugar if you don't want the sugar, but have the butter. The butter is going to be very important to make sure the soufflé rise and don't get stick on the pan, on the mold. The sugar is just because it's a little crispy and I like it. The butter is mandatory. There we are. So right now I'm doing only 4, but the recipe I gave you is going to do at least, I would say, 8 minimum. So it's depending what you need. Again, this you can keep it on the side. Maybe actually I should do, let's keep for later. I will bake it again later and make more tonight. Okay, so what we got the chocolate base. We did with the milk, cornstarch, chocolate, and egg yolk. Okay, we got ramekins, butter, and sugar. We got the oven is ready, it's hot. And what we got to do, we got to whip our egg white. So here we have the egg white in it. Okay, already in. And we're going to whisk it. We're going to use the whisk for the KitchenAid. You can do it by hand also, just more, more work, but that's okay. I'm going to explain you what I'm going to do before I start because there's going to be a lot of noise. You're not going to be able to hear me after. So what you want to do is to whip the egg white. You can go fast, no worry. What you want to do is to add the sugar slowly. Sorry, I need some water. Yep, sorry, I was like talking and like this. So what you want to add the sugar slowly. So we have to start whipping the egg white. What's important, why I'm saying that is because you want the egg white firm, very firm. If they are too soft, the souffle not going to rise and it's going to just stay flat. So it's very important your eggs are firm. If your egg white are not firm, do not use it. Do it again. Okay? That's the thing. It's better to do your egg white again by messing up all the recipe. Okay? So to do it nicely, we got to whip the egg white. We got to wait for them to like be completely whipped, so you don't want to have some egg white liquid on the bottom. So how do you know? It's like all the egg white, you got to see foam on top, like a lot of bubbles and foam. So make sure it's completely whipped, but not firm. It's just gonna be foamy, pretty much, like a lot of bubble, a lot of foam on top. When you see that, you got to add half of the sugar. Only half of this sugar here. You have to keep whipping it, and then it's gonna become firm. And before it's completely firm, we got to add the last sugar. Whip it a little bit, like 30 seconds, to incorporate the sugar, and that's it. But if you add the sugar too early, that's why you got to have your egg white not firm enough. So make sure you don't add the sugar too early, because the sugar is too heavy for the egg white, and it's just going to push the egg white down. So that's the thing. So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to move you again for you to see. Maybe I can have the little light. Yep. And it's going to be a lot of noise. Okay. So here it's very foamy. I've got a lot of bubbles, a lot of film. I can start to see the mark from the whisk a little bit. So I'm going to add half of the sugar and keep mixing. So I was talking about the foam at the beginning, the bubbles. Right now, it's good. I know it's going to be firm because I don't see the foam and the bubbles anymore. So now I'm going to add the last sugar and finish it. There we are. And you see, it's very firm. It's not moving, okay? And you have the picks. Up. I'm going to move you again. Up. There we are. Okay. Great. So you see, we got to have our egg white very firm. That's 1 second because I got no more battery. No, I got some battery. Here we are. Here we are. Okay. So now we have our egg white. So what we have to do, we got to add the egg white in the chocolate base. What we want to do, we want to do it slowly. I'm going to give 1 minute here because I need to plug my phone. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, so you see we have the chocolate, we have the egg white. So what we're going to do, we're going to add the egg white a little slowly. So like what I like to do is to like do 1/3 at the beginning, and we got to fold. So when I'm folding is like you start far away, and then you got to go all the way at the bottom and go on top like this. You don't want to go too fast, okay? You want to keep the egg white nice and very light. So you just go far from where you go on the bottom and fold it slowly. So I like to do it in 3 times because the first time I can mix a little more than the next one to make it a little easier for the chocolate to be a little softer after. Because at the beginning, the chocolate base is kind of very creamy and very hard, I would say. But here you see, I'm going to mix completely the egg white. So I'm not going to see the egg white anymore. And we're going to add more of it. So we're going to add another third. And we're going to keep folding. Take your time, no rush. You've got plenty of time here to do it. Okay, and this one you see I'm not going to mix all the egg white. Okay, the first one was to make the chocolate base a little softer, and here I want to get all the egg white before I finish it. And you keep folding. So this, as I say, is like as soon as you start adding the egg white on it, you need to finish it pretty much. We're going to fill up the rum cans and we're going to bake it right away. You can keep it, this mix can stay like this, maybe in the fridge like an hour, even less than that. I would say half an hour is kind of the limit. So here you want to mix it slowly, but you don't want any more meringue, egg white piece. So try to break, because like I said, the less you mix, the better it will be. Okay, I think I'm ready. I don't see any more meringue, egg white. Okay. So see, it's gonna be nice, very like egg white chocolate mix, very light. And now what we have to do, is to take our own pans. Let me get big spoon, easier. Maybe see, we're just going to. If you have like pastry bags, you can use pastry bags. I will do a spoon to show you. We don't really need fancy tools. And what you want on the soufflé ramekin, you have a little line here most of the time, okay? Because it's got to rise a lot. So leave a little space here. I would say leave an inch free, but you really don't want to have batter on the side. You want it clean. So do a nice job when you fill up the ramekins, because if you do it here, you just got to stick the soufflé and it's got to prevent it to rise. So you really want to have it clean, like an inch clean with no batter on it. So take your time and do it nicely. If you do have a little thing like this, what you want is just to clean up. Okay, just make sure you clean up. See, I'm not doing. Usually I use pastry bags. And here you see we're going to. I think we can make like six soufflé like this size with the recipe I gave you. Okay, but I got only 4, so. Any question?
I do have a question.
Yes.
I'm sure I explained this before, but when I make it, usually I don't put the cornstarch. So what's the purpose of the cornstarch again? Could you explain that?
To keep everything together. It's going to be the cornstarch is to thicken anything. When you use cornstarch, it's to thick like a curd or thick any cream, pretty much. So it's going to be the same thing as for this one.
Okay.
Some people use flour. Some people use cornstarch. You got different options, yes. More question?
Is arrowroot another possibility? Arrowroot.
I don't know. I never tried it, so
yeah.
You have to try. I don't know about this.
It's typically a little lighter or softer than cornstarch. It tends to be more natural. Yeah.
I think it should be fine. You have to try. Maybe you need to add a little more. Yeah. I will say the chocolate is going to be very safe. I mean, the chocolate is the easiest soufflé you can do because the chocolate itself holds everything. But if you do like another soufflé, like cheese also, but like Cointreau, only Cointreau, it's going to be more liquid, a little more delicate. So you have to be careful on that. Chocolate, definitely super safe, super easy to do. If you messed up your chocolate soufflé, something wrong with your ingredients, I would say.
What brand of chocolate do you use? Do you like to use?
This one's Campbell. There's this one.
We chef.
Yeah.
Yes. Campbell.
And you see it's like I find it like chips like this. So they come like this. Pretty good.
Vous pouvez redire la marque? J'ai pas compris la marque.
Calbo.
Calbo. Okay, sorry. Okay, thank you. One.
I think Whole Food. I think Whole Food they have a bar of it. Usually those chocolate you go to find like Whole Food or Herfray, and they have like a big bar crack, like a piece of chocolate wrap.
Okay.
That's usually the best chocolate you can find on those markets. Because like I said, you don't want too sweet. You want like very unsweet chocolate. That's the thing. If you want it to have it like up to 80% of cocoa, up to you, I mean, it's gonna be very bitter, but that's it's working too. That's why. And that's pretty much it for soufflé. So we're going to bake it, no? And we're going to eat it. I mean, I'm going to eat it. Someone else who's waiting for it. He's like, yeah. So we're going to bake it. So we're going to bake it around 370, 390, depending on your oven, like I said, depending on your oven. It should take 8-9 minutes to bake. Okay, that's the timing. Usually, if it's if you think it's too much color before 8 minutes because your oven is too high and it's burning everything. Okay, if it's not baked inside within 9-10 minutes because your oven is too low. Okay, and then it's going to take too long. It's not going to rise enough, and it's going to be a little more like creamy texture. It's going to be like creamy and like chewy, I would say. So the temperature is important because you want to bake it fast, pretty much. You want it right and cook as fast as possible. If you do a big one, it will take, I would say 8, 9, I would say 10 to 12 minutes for a big one, unless you do a giant one. But if you do like a 6-8 portion, you can do like 10-12 minutes because of course it's bigger. That's why. But those guys, I will put like 8 minutes and that should be good, this one.
Okay.
Sounds good. I'm going to bake it actually. Let's do it. And in 8 minutes, well, ready, finished. And in 8 minutes, you can eat.
Fantastique, bravo, bravo. Simon, c'était super. Quand ça sort du four, tu peux nous prendre une photo et comme ça on mettra la photo sur le site web. So when it comes out of the oven, I think a lot of people at 650, so we'll close shortly. But when it comes out of the oven, take a picture and we'll put the picture on the website.
Yeah.
And we've also recorded the session. As a matter of fact, it reminds me. Stop.